Raised as a Cranogman in the neck of Westeros, Howland Reed trained in hunting, fishing, and marshland combat, even studying the minor magical abilities preserved by his people. Growing into a man, his thirst for knowledge expanded beyond what the marshlands could provide, and so he set out on a small boat down the Green Fork River, traveling through the Riverlands to visit the Green Men on the Isle of Faces, a religious order dedicated to the old gods and protecting the local weirwoods. Fascinated by their ancient knowledge and magical abilities, Howland Reed stayed with them for the winter, before finally departing in 281 AC during the year of the False Spring. Journeying north, he came across the splendor and pageantry of the tourney of Harrenhal unfolding nearby, and decided to enjoy the event before returning home. This particular tournament proved fateful for the continent of Westeros, as it was here the seeds of conflict between House Targaryen, Baratheon, and Stark were planted. On a smaller scale, the tourney also had a significant impact on Howland Reed, as he became the target of ridicule and bullying by 3 squires, all younger than the small Cranogman but larger, mocking his people and taking his spear before pushing him to the ground. Yet as they started kicking him into the mud, the she-wolf, Lyanna Stark, came to the rescue, declaring him a friend of her house, and using a sword to chase them away. Taking Howland to her tent, she treated his wounds and introduced him to her 3 brothers, Brandon, Eddard, and Benjen Stark, who then invited him to a great feast, where he spotted his attackers. Although Benjen offered to find him a horse and armor to take revenge, Howland feared losing the competition as he knew little of horse and lance, and did not wish to bring shame to House Reed. However, on the second day of jousting, a mystery knight, small of stature and wearing mismatched armor, enlisted in the tournament, coming to be known as the Knight of the Laughing Tree because of his shield displaying a white weirwood with a laughing face. By the late afternoon, all 3 of the knights, whose squires attacked Howland Reed, held places as champions, but one by one the mystery competitor defeated them, taking their horses and armor as rightful winnings. When the knights went to pay the ransom for their belongings, the mysterious figure bellowed out in a deep voice, "Teach your squire's honor, that shall be ransom enough." Though many wondered about his identity, the mystery knight soon disappeared, with search parties finding only the painted shield hanging in a tree. Some came to believe the person was Howland Reed himself, while others thought it may have been a Stark brother acting on his behalf, or even Lyanna Stark, who was known to have some skill as a fighter. Regardless, with Howland Reed's adventures at an end, he finally returned to his homeland, but only briefly, as the Seven Kingdoms soon descended into civil war, when his liege Lord Rickard of Winterfell and the heir Brandon Stark were executed by the Mad King after what was believed to be the abduction of Lyanna Stark, betrothed of Robert Baratheon. Together with his allies in the Vale and North, the Lord of the Stormlands led a rebellion against House Targaryen, with the Cranogmen of the Neck following Lord Rickard's second son Eddard Stark into combat. The war then culminated in the Battle of the Trident, where the rebels proved victorious, after Robert killed Prince Rhaegar in single combat, and with the aid of House Lannister, they soon captured King's Landing and the Iron Throne. With the war all but over, Ned Stark traveled south to lift the siege of Storm's End, before leading a small party to the Tower of Joy in Dorne, where he hoped to find his sister Lyanna. Joined by his close friend Howland Reed, as well as Lord William Dustin, Ethan Glover, Martin Cassell, Theo Wool, and Sir Mark Risewell, they encountered Lord Commander Gerald Hightower of the Kingsguard, protecting the tower, alongside his brothers Sir Oswell Went and Sir Arthur Dane, known to many as the Sword of the Morning. After a vicious confrontation, all were dead save Eddard Stark and Howland Reed. However, it was a hollow victory, as they found Lyanna dying in a pool of blood. Devastated by her loss, it fell to Howland Reed to help Lord Stark through this difficult time, and after settling their affairs in Dorne, they returned home to the north. Though Howland did not regularly visit Winterfell, he wrote letters to remain in contact, and was held in high regard by Lord Stark, who told his children stories of their youthful adventures. During the years of King Robert's reign, Howland had 2 children, each of them inheriting some of their father's traits, with Mira excelling as a hunter, fisherman, and marshland warrior, while Jojen was brilliant and wise, but also sickly, nearly dying from Greywater fever at a young age. Yet while suffering this illness, Jojen had a vision of a 3-eyed crow, and started developing the ability to see in the future through prophetic green dreams. In one of these visions, he saw the 3-eyed crow attempting to free a chained wolf, and after consulting with his father, it was decided Jojen and Mira must travel to Winterfell and dedicate themselves to helping Bran Stark travel north of the Wall to fulfill his destiny. However, after 15 years of relative peace under House Baratheon, the death of King Robert and Eddard Stark sent the realm into a state of chaos, with the North and Riverlands declaring for Robb Stark in the War of the Five Kings. Meanwhile, as the Reed children traveled to Winterfell, Robb Stark marched his army south, sending word to Lord Howland that the Crannog men must defend the Neck should the Lannisters invade the north, instructing them to bleed the enemy dry with marshland battle tactics. Unfortunately, the war went badly for the Starks, with the Ironborn and then Lannisters taking possession of much of their holdings. Yet even so, the Crannog men refused to surrender, using the harsh terrain of the Neck to hide their forces, waging a slow but unyielding guerrilla campaign against any enemy force that attempted to settle or cross the region. Some rumors even suggested that House Reed was working with the Brotherhood Without Banners, and may possibly have been in league with the mysterious Lady Stoneheart.